What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm finally back with my own gameplay, but don't worry, I'm still keeping up the insane spice levels from the Battle of Spice competition with this incredibly specific triple shiny green bat theme team in the Open Great League, and if that's not spicy enough for you, my next theme team might be the craziest one yet, so do watch out for that. As you can imagine, this is not a team you should run for climbing. I lost a lot of elo, all 3 Pokemon can be destroyed by a single anti-flying type Pokemon like a Bastiodon, but I still did pick up some crazy wins and I had fun, which is the most important factor. So with that being said, let's just get into the question of the day. What is the single most annoying Pokemon to face in the Open Great League meta right now? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, let's go into the first battle. And by the way, this is the second time I'm recording this because unfortunately the audio was just awful in the first one. A lot of static, a lot of just weird noises that were just awful. I tried to salvage it, but unfortunately I wasn't able to do so. So apologies if I do sound a little bit less enthusiastic than normal. This is the second time I'm recording, nearly 25 minutes worth of battles. But here, I'm going to swap into a Galarian Stunfisk. Not great for me. I'm hoping they just throw straight away, and they do exactly that. So I'm going to let the Swoobat go down. Can't really do much up against the Stunfisk, but I do debuff its defense. I'm hoping with that debuff, maybe we can just go straight Shadow Ball in this matchup and take them out with the wing attack damage adding up eventually, but I don't think it's going to happen. We go for that Shadow Ball. It's not enough to take them out, and also not really putting them into range where a Poison Fang will take them out either. So I'm going to tank the Rock Slide, swap into my Noibat, and go for the Air Slash Farm Down. Unfortunately, they do make it to another Rock Slide. Rock Slide going to do big damage, but we do get the Farm Down. Actually, the opponent swaps into Medicham. We barely make it to a Boomburst, and this is going to do big damage, so it does grab the final shield from the opponent. They also throw straight away, throwing on the CMP tie, which is perfect for me because now I can come in with the Golbat, farm up to 6 wing attacks, go for the Shadow Ball, and from this range, Shadow Ball will be enough damage to take out the Medicham. They come back in with the Toxapex, they're fairly low. Shadow Ball is non-stab, it's not going to do too much damage here, and it doesn't quite take them out, but we get the wing attack farm down. We wing attack farm down the Stunfisk, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Swoobat into Lantern. Now Lantern, very common in the current meta. I saw it mostly in the lead, so the thinking behind this team was that Swoobat can just go straight Confusion and Psychic Fangs and deal a decent amount of damage, obviously taking super effective damage from the Sparks. Here, I threw the first Psychic Fangs quite a while into this matchup, expecting the opponent to either throw on alignment with the Surf or the Thunderbolt. They did neither. They continue to go for the farm down, and they actually give up switch advantage, swapping into Medicham, which is fine with me. We're now going to come in with the Golbat. I will tank this move as a Thunderbolt was going to do more damage, and they also didn't even farm to the Psychic. So once again, going to farm, throw on the CMP tie. Golbat does win CMP up against the Medicham, and Shadow Ball would take him out from that range, so they do use their shield. We're now going to shield as well as they go for the second Ice Punch. We can once again overfarm, go for 6 wing attacks, go for the Poison Fang on the CMP tie, and this will now be enough damage to take out the Medicham. Now they come in with a Charm Slurpuff of all Pokemon here. We go for a Poison Fang, debuffing their defense, but they will be able to Charm Farm me down, which is unfortunate. I thought they come in with the Lantern straight away, which is like why I threw that Poison Fang. If we went for 1 extra wing attack, maybe we could have taken them out, but from this range, they can go for a Thunderbolt. I do shield it up, but they make it to a Surf as well, and Surf will be enough damage to take out the Noivern, and I do unfortunately lose that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, great lead for us as we see Serperior, and actually all 3 Pokemon can do very well. The opponent's going to swap into Umbreon, so we respond with the Golbat. Now here, it's important to note that switch advantage isn't super necessary just because Noivern and Swoobat can do very well up against the Serperior, but I will shield the first move here. They did farm up to a potential Psychic, but they go for a foul play. This is definitely just another foul play, which we do tank, and now we're going to overfarm, go for a Poison Fang, and I should be able to live another foul play if they do outpace me to the next charge move, which they do. But I will now be able to make it to a Poison Fang before they snarl farm me down, and this with the double debuff should take them out from this range, so we do at least grab a shield. They do get a full snarl farm down, but we come in with the Noivern, go for the Air Slash, they go for the charge move straight away, foul play, doesn't do too much damage, they swap into a Azumarill. I'm going to stay in, wait to see if they've got Ice Beam or Play Rough, and they do throw off the 5, so this will be an Ice Beam, not ideal for me. We're now going to swap into our Swoobat, farm up a ton of energy, hoping that because because of this overfarm, we will grab a shield with the first charge move, and we do exactly that. We now make it to a Psychic Fangs number 2, and Psychic Fangs not going to do an awful lot of damage, even though we did debuff their defense, but the confusion damage is really chunking this Azu. Now, they do overfarm quite a lot in this matchup. They are 2 away from the next charge move, but they swap. They try to catch onto the Umbreon. They are unsuccessful. They come in with a Superior. We're actually capped at 100 energy, so I'm going to undercharge the Boomburst. They make it to an Aerial Ace, but it does not matter. This is not going to take us out, and now I'm hoping with the undercharge we can make it to a Psychic and throw on the CMP tie with the Azumarill, and this Psychic will be enough to take out the Azu, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we're going to see Swoobat into Alolan Ninetales. Not ideal lead for us once again, but I will just stay in with this matchup, and the opponent actually overfarms here, and we go for a Psychic Fang straight away. The opponent going to shield the first move. Potentially, I should have just let this go through and then come in with my Golbat, but I'm actually going to shield here. I'm now going to have to double shield if I want to get off the next charge move, and I'm going to do exactly that. I'm hoping this is their only anti-flying type Pokemon, so if I go for a Psychic Fangs number 2, either I take them out or grab the final shield. The opponent lets it go through, but they've got a Lantern in the back, and I'm just like, bro, come on, why are you doing this? Or it's actually a female avatar, so sis, why are you doing this? We're now going to tank a Thunderbolt. It's neutral damage, but it still does a lot, and unfortunately we don't make it to a charge move. We lagged a little bit, but I don't think we're getting there anyways. And in the first few battles I did with this team, I think I did run the Draco Meteor as the double nukes with Boomburst. It didn't really work out, so I did swap for Psychic. Not the best move, but it is at least cheaper in energy, and we do at least get there more consistently. But the opponent's going to swap into their Shadow Golbat. They do throw a Poison Fang straight away. We lose CMP, but it doesn't matter. I can live this, and we're going to full send the Shadow Ball here. This will guarantee a shield or big damage. We get the shield, and we actually make it to a Poison Fang here. So if I baited that first time around, I could have potentially grabbed both shields from the opponent, but we're happy to grab a shield advantage. We're going to come in with the Swoobat. They will make it to a potential Shadow Ball, so I will respect it. They bait with the Poison Fang, to be expected, but they swap back into their Obstagoon there. Actually, no, they didn't swap. We just took them out with the confusion, but we go for an Aerial Ace. They're at the next Night Slash, so we swap into Noivern, and we even get an Air Slash through, which is quite nice for us, as it does do some nice damage here. They are going to get to another charge move. I will be able to live this, so I'm going to have to let it go through. Night Slash going to do much more damage up against the Swoobat, but they've got a Shadow Electrode of all Pokemon in the back. This is not ideal. We go for Psychic. We don't get the debuff either, and they come out with a charge move loaded. So I'm going to shield, and I'm hoping that we win CMP in this matchup. I've literally no clue, but I'm going to go for 3 confusions, go for the Psychic Fangs, and we do win the CMP tie. Does Psychic Fangs take them out? Yes, it does. And can we make it to an Aerial Ace? We can indeed, and Aerial Ace will be enough damage from this range to take up the Obstagoon, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Swoobat just casually sweeping a Shadow Electrode and an Obstagoon. But into the next game, we see a Shadow Alolan Sandslash. They're actually running Powder Snow, which is gaining a bit more popularity this season. They go for an Ice Punch, grabbing my shield, and then they swap into Mew. And I'm thinking here, might as well just full send the Shadow Ball. They might no-shield the first move, but no, they do respect the damage, and they make it to a charge move. I'm thinking they might bait with a Surf. We might live this, but no, they're running Psyshock, and unfortunately, I think I'm just going to concede the game. There's not a lot we can do up against that Shadow Alolan Sandslash, so unfortunately we lose that game there. But into the next game, we're going to see Greedent in the lead. We're going to stay in initially, and then I might try and catch a move, but no, the opponent throws on alignment there. Maybe trying to CMP time me, but instead I go for the extra Psychic Fangs, and now I make it through the back-to-back Psychic Fangs here. Gonna go for the first one, and the opponent gonna shield that up. I know the second one wouldn't take them out, so instead I'm gonna swap and catch the crunch onto my Golbat. And I'm hoping with the debuff, a Poison Fang will be enough damage to take them out from this range, but it barely doesn't take them out, and that's super frustrating. But the opponent goes for a Body Slam, does some nice damage, and that Body Slam is actually going to put us into range where they could potentially just fully commit to a Poison Jab farm down, even though it is resisted here. But we go for a Shadow Ball. The opponent does use a shield, and they threw on the CMP tie, which is best case scenario for us, as they do waste their energy. Now we come in with the Swoobat. We go for a Psychic Fang straight away, going to debuff their defense instantly, and the opponent's going to swap into their Obstagoon. So we come in with the Noivern. They make it to a potential Night Slash. I'm going to let the first one go through. They actually go for an Obstruct instead they debuff our defense whilst boosting their own. And now at this point, I don't know if we do live the Night Sash. They go for the Night Sash and they get a boost as well. So we're going to go straight for the Boomburst. Boomburst will be taking out the Obstagoon. And now can we make it to a Psychic in time before they farm us down? I think we would have got there in time, so the opponent has to throw their energy, but Brian takes out the Noivern, and that will easily allow us to make it to a Psychic Fangs with the Swoobat, and this will be enough damage, even if we fully undercharge it, to eventually take out the Toxapex, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we're going to see Swoobat into a Shadow Gardevoir. Not an ideal lead for us whatsoever, but I have to stay in because it's even worse for our Noivern. I do build up to the Aerial Ace. It's very likely that they do shield the Gardevoir, and we do grab a shield whilst simultaneously debuffing their defense. So that's fine with me. Going to come in with the Golbat. I'll shield the first move. They are probably running Triple Axle. They go for it straight away, buffing their attack, but I still should be able to fully farm them down before they make it to another move. Now, they unfortunately have a Powder Snow, a load of Ninetales in the back. So we go for Poison Fang, grabbing the shield with the first one. This will now deal more damage as we debuff their defense, and Poison Fang will get them into the yellow health, but they're gonna throw a charge move pretty much straight away. And now my only hope is that they instantly swap out, and they do exactly that. They fall into the trap. They've seen two flying types already, thinking Venusaur must have some play up against the third Pokemon, but no, unfortunately not for the opponent here, as I can shield once, fully farm them down, and I will come out with a Boomburst loaded to throw straight away into the Alola Ninetales, and Boomburst here is easily gonna be enough damage from this range to take out the Ninetales, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we can see Pelipper in the lead, a fairly neutral lead matchup. They will be able to outpace me though, so probably slightly better for the Pelipper. They do throw just before we make it to that Psychic Fangs, and Weather Ball going to do some nice damage. Actually, a second Weather Ball will be enough to take me out. So we go for the Psychic Fangs, debuff their defense, and then we swap. We catch the next Weather Ball onto our Noivern. This is resisted damage, but Noivern isn't a very flexible Pokemon. We bait out a Bomber Snow. They don't commit to the full farm down though, which is quite good for us. I don't know if they overfarm at all actually. So they go for the Weather Ball there. We're now going to wait out the Switch Clock, come in with our Golbat, and unfortunately we're going to have to, well, we're going to have to use a shield here. I was going to say we're going to tank a move, but no, we're definitely not going to do that. And we're not even going to overfarm by much. Go for the Poison Fang pretty much straight away. Just guarantee we get rid of the Bomber Snow or debuff their defense. And here we swap. We catch the move onto our Swoobat. The opponent goes for another Weather Ball, and this should put them into range where we can just wing attack, farm them all the way down. They come back in with the Pelipper. We get the farm down as well, and it's a Swampert in the back. So here I could go for the bait, but I feel like that's pretty obvious. So I full send the Shadow Ball, but they use the shield, and if we baited, we could have also debuffed their defense, and the second Shadow Ball would easily take them out. But here, I don't believe this will be enough damage. If we were Shadow, maybe it would take them out, but against a regular Swampert and with a regular Golbat, unfortunately, it doesn't KO, but Hydro Cannon takes out the Golbat, and we do lose that game there. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, an amazing lead for my entire team as we lead into a Buzzwole. And this is the benefit of running a triple flying team. When you see a Pokemon like this, they've got nowhere to go. Now Lunge would actually be neutral damage, so I swap into my Golbat hoping to catch it. The opponent throws anyway as they go for the Lunge. Double resisted though, doesn't do much damage, but it does debuff my attack. And they come in with a Skarmory, which is going to resist the wing attack damage. Shadow Ball also now debuffed. It doesn't do too much, but I should be able to live a Sky Attack from this range. The opponent actually overfarms here. We go for a second Shadow Ball, which they let go through, and at this point I'm going to let the Golbat go down. Sky Attack actually barely doesn't take us out there. Not sure if they undercharged or if it just does that much damage, but now we can come in, Confusion, farm down the Skarmory, and they've got a Swampert in the back. So we can go straight Psychic Fangs here. Psychic Fangs are going to debuff their defense, and the opponent's going to overfarm in this matchup, allow me to make it to another Psychic Fangs. And if the game wasn't already over, then it certainly is now, as we can just let this move go through. And I will actually be able to win this game with a 2 shield flex as I come in with the Noivern, get the farm down, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we're going to see Swoobat into Umbreon. So not a great lead once again. Going to say swap into the Golbat, and the opponent's staying in. So clearly quite weak to the Golbat in the back, which is, I mean, sort of good for us. It's not the worst for us, as they're not going to hard punish us. We're going to go for a Poison Fang here, throwing at the perfect timing here, and the opponent going for an extra Snarl, so I make it to another Poison Fang before they do make it to the second Dark Pulse here. We've double debuffed their defense. I will now shield because I kind of want to grab a shield back from the opponent here, so I'm going to overfarm, go for the Poison Fang just before they make it to the next charge move, and Poison Fang will be grabbing a shield back from the opponent. Now at this point I'm happy to let the Golbat go down. They are in range, especially with a triple debuff, for me to just fully air slash farm them down before they make it to the next charge move, and the opponent's going to come in with their Shadow Nidoqueen. We come in with the Swoobat, and the opponent is core broken by the Swoobat once we got rid of the Umbreon, and this is really good for me. We go straight for the area dealing big damage, and at this point an Ice Punch will do more damage than a Poison Fang, so I will shield this up. I will be able to fully Confusion, farm them down, go straight for a Psychic Fangs into the Nidoqueen, and this will debuff their defense very easily, grabbing a shield from the opponent. And now does a Poison Fang take us out from this range? It doesn't quite take us out, so we get a boosted Confusion damage there up against the Nidoqueen. Do they have Stone Edge though? They do not. Poison Fang doesn't do enough damage. We can easily air slash farm down the Nidoqueen, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to the opponent there. Into the next game we see Azumarill in the lead, so not the worst matchup for us. Obviously we don't want it aligned to our Noivern here, so we're going to go for a Psychic Fangs. The opponent actually does overfarm quite considerably, and the opponent lets the first move go through. They also throw straight away, so now we get a full Confusion in for free, and they full send a Hydro Pump, so clearly not running Ice Beam, and also maybe thought that a Play Rough would not take us out here, so that's great for us. But now unfortunately they come in with Galarian Stunfisk. We go for that Psychic Fangs basically as they reach the rock side. I'm hoping they throw straight away, but they don't, but instead they throw on the CMP type with the next Psychic Fangs. And that might be better for me because now they are easily in range where a Shadow Ball will take them out. So Rockside takes us out. I do believe they have one away from the next Rockside, and they do throw as soon as they get to it. So Rockside going to do big damage here, but I will now be able to go for a Shadow Ball, but the opponent catches it onto a Venusaur. Really nice play there. I do undercharge the Shadow Ball a little bit. We are now going to swap, bank the energy, come in with the Noivern, but I think I needed to undercharge the Shadow Ball a little bit more here because I'm not going to get much farm before I do take them out there. And unfortunately, I do have to shield this up because even though Frenzy Plant was double resisted, it now puts me into Rockside range or thereabouts. So we go for a Psychic. Psychic are going to be grabbing a shield from the opponent, but if they're smart, they will just be able to fully overfarm to the back-to-back Rocksides, and it looks like that's exactly what they're doing. Rockside barely doesn't take us out. I don't know if they undercharged. If they did, then that was genius, but we go for a Poison Fang just to scare them a little bit. They've still got a shield anyways, so unfortunately a Rockside from this range will easily take out the Golbat, and we do lose that game, but GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game we see Swoobat into a Greninja. Not a great lead, gonna swap into the Golbat, and the opponent's gonna go straight for a charge move. I kind of just have to let this move go through here. So Hydro Cannon gonna do big damage, but then they swap into Ariados, which is a really questionable swap. We go straight for the Shadow Ball, dealing big damage, and at this point I should be able to shield once and just fully farm them down. They go for Lunge, gonna debuff my my attack there, but I'm still able to get the farm down, and now they come back in with Greninja. We are debuffed. Poison Fang not going to do too much damage, but I will make it to a second Poison Fang before they get the farm down, so this should be grabbing a shield back from the opponent, and it does exactly that. Now they do get the Water Shuriken farm down. They come in with their own Golbat. We swap straight away into the Swoobat. They barely outpace me to the potential Shadow Ball, so I will respect the damage. It is the Shadow Ball, and now I can fully Confusion, farm them down. They're only going to make it to a Poison Fang. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to throw straight away. I know I lose CMP, but this just forces the opponent to throw straight away as well. And Night Sash here, going to take me out. It doesn't get the boost, which is great for me. And now we can come in with the Noivern. As long as they don't boost on this charge move, we should be winning the game, and we do take out the Greninja there to take that game. So GG's to the opponent there. Into the next game we see Altaria in the lead, so not the best matchup for us, but definitely good to avoid it with our Noivern. We're going to go for a Psychic Fang straight away up against the Altaria, and the opponent actually shields the first charge move there, which is very questionable. But once again, when you do run spicier Pokemon, the opponents aren't always going to know what moves you have, and so the opponent does shield that first Psychic Fangs. We go for the second one, and it still doesn't quite take them out, but I will be able to fully Confusion, farm them down. But unfortunately they come in with Bastidon, and this it's just going to be game over. There's literally nothing we can do. We debuff their defense. I'm hoping with my gold bat after the defense drop, we can just go straight Shadow Ball and take them out with 2 Shadow Balls. But you're going to see that's still not going to be enough damage to take out a Bastiodon here. So we shield up the Stone Edge, we go for Shadow Ball number 1, and Shadow Ball is going to do less than 50% of their health. We do get them into the yellow, but these wing attacks, they're double resisted. They're doing literally nothing. We go for Shadow Ball number 2. It still doesn't take them out, and it doesn't put them into air slash farm down range either. The opponent gets to another Stone Edge, nearly taking us out. One more Smackdown takes us out, and a couple more Smackdowns takes out the Golbat, and we do lose that game. So you can see we get very easily walled by something like a Bastiodon. But into the next game, we see Swoobat into Medicham, so pretty good lead matchup for us. The opponent throws straight away here. So I'm going to overfarm here, go for the extra confusion, and now I will go for an Aerial Ace, and this should be enough damage from this range to take out the Medicham. They do end up shielding, that's fine with me. I'm going to match shields initially, gonna overfarm, and then I should put them into range, but a Psychic Fangs will be enough damage to take them out here. So I'm just gonna go for that Psychic Fangs, and Psychic Fangs will grab the final shield from the opponent. Absolutely fine with me. I don't want to use both my shields, so I will let the Ice Punch go through, come in with my Golbat, go for the Wing Attack, farm down, and have some residual energy into the Skarmory that comes in. So we're going to go for that Shadow Ball straight away. And Shadow Ball going to do about 40% of their health there. The wing attacks are only single resisted, and we should live a Sky Attack from this range, so I will let it go through. Save my shield for my Noivern in the back, going for the Shadow Ball, and Shadow Ball does take out the Skarmory. We swap into Noivern, but they've got a Azumarill in the back, and the opponent is also running Ice Beam as they get to the charge move in just 5 bubbles. So we shield up the first move here. I will then try and CMP tie with the next charge move here, going for the Boomburst, and is Boomburst enough damage to take out the Azu? No, it's barely not enough there. Ice Beam will easily one-shot us as it is double super effective, but I've put the Azumarill into range where we can just wing attack, farm them down, and take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Swoobat into another Alolan Sandslash. So this time around, I'm just going to stay in. They are actually running Shadow Claw this time. And the opponent overfarms here, and that does allow me to reach a Psychic Fangs before they go for an Ice Punch. And we even grab a shield once again because the opponent is unfamiliar with our moveset. Now here, I'm actually going to let the Ice Punch go through. Quite questionable, but I'm thinking typically with Alolan Sandslash in the lead, I've seen Medicham and Azu in the back. So I come in here, I can even tank an Ice Punch on my Golbat. So I'm going to let it go through and go for the Shadow Ball. I don't expect them to double shield their lead Pokemon here. So hopefully they do just let this go through. And they do exactly that, but they've got Altaria in the back, and it might be a double Dragon backline instead. And unfortunately, that will easily take us out there, so I do just concede the match. But speaking of dragons, we see another Altaria in the lead this time around, and we're once again going to go for that Psychic Fangs. We did grab an early shield last time. This time around, the opponent will let the Psychic Fangs go through. Doesn't really matter. We can safely shield this up. Potentially go for a full Confusion farm down. It will be very close though, so I might just go for that Psychic Fangs here, guarantee the KO, and the opponent is going to let the move go through. We do take out the Altaria, but they've got a Carbink in the back. And once again, I can do literally nothing here. Going to come in with my Golbat, and I'm actually going to farm up a ton of energy, and then I will try and bait with a Poison Fang to land the debuffed Shadow Ball. But even then, it's still just not going to be enough damage here. We're going to go for that Poison Fang. Poison Fang is at least neutral damage here. We get the debuff and the shield, and now we go for the Shadow Ball, and Shadow Ball is going to grab the second shield from the opponent. They can clearly see we are very weak to the Carbink, and we're just going to concede the match there. No point playing it out. Honestly, should have left the match about 2 minutes ago, but GG's to that opponent. And into the next game, we see Quagsire into our Swoobat. So we are going to go straight for a Psychic Fang straight away. And the opponent is going to let the first move go through. Doesn't do too much damage. This is a bit scary. Are they going to bait me, or are they going to full send the Stone Edge? They full send the Stone Edge, and this should put them into range where I can just farm them down. This will just be a Mud Bomb, which we easily tank. It is double resisted, but they now come in with a Frost Ass, which is looking a lot scarier here. As we go for a Psychic Fangs, Psychic Fangs going to debuff their defense. We grab a shield now. We make it to another Psychic Fangs, and this is going to do more damage. So the opponent does double shield. We're going to stay in though, because these confusions are seriously chunking, but it looks like we don't get the damage from that confusion, and that is annoying because that changes what I wanted to do here. We come in with the Golbat, and you can see it did apply. It just didn't show until we came in with the next Pokemon. I just fully sacrificed the Golbat, hoping Noivern can sweep, and they've got a Charizard in the back. This is going to be close. Dragon Claw might take us out after the wing attack damage. I don't think a Psychic will take them out, but it doesn't matter. As we reach the Boomburst, the opponent, for whatever reason, doesn't go for the second Dragon Claw, and we're able to take out the Charizard and take that game. I'm not sure if Dragon Claw would have taken us out from that range, but it would have been very close. But into the next game, we see another Umbreon in the lead, so I'm going to swap into my Golbat, and once again they're choosing to stay in, so clearly very weak to the Golbat in the back. So we are going to go for the Poison Fang. We do reach the back-to-back here, going for the first one, and we will throw on correct timing here, and the opponent also goes for that extra Snarl, so I do get to the Poison Fang number 2 before they do make it to the second foul play, and this time they actually throw straight away. So here I'm going to shield this up, they go for that foul play, and then they swap into Ivysaur. You can see they are clearly so weak to the Golbat in the back, which is why they stayed in initially. We go for a Shadow Ball, grabbing a shield from the opponent. At this point, I don't really want to double shield my Golbat, so I will just let the move go through. Sludge Bomb, even though it's resisted, does take us out. We now come in with the Swoobat. We can go for the Confusion Farm Down. They will reach a charge move here. Sludge Bomb going to do a lot of damage, but we get the Farm Down, and I'm instantly going to swap into my Noivern. I'm hoping that I can tank one charge move and then just fully farm them down here. And the opponent goes for that foul play straight away. And can we get the Farm Down? It doesn't look likely. I will have to use my final shield here, otherwise foul play will get us incredibly low, but this definitely should be range where we can get that farm down. And what do they have in the back? They've got another Azumarill. This time we're full sending the Boomburst straight away, but the opponent shields it up. That's unfortunate, but I barely make it to a Psychic in time. This isn't going to do nearly as much damage as the Boomburst, but it does at least do some nice damage there. We are going to let the Noivern go down. Ice Beam takes us out. We had a Psychic Fangs loaded. We throw it straight away, debuff their defense instantly, and I will be able to make it to one final Psychic Fangs on the CMP tie as they reach the Ice Beam, and Psychic Fangs takes out the Azu, and I'm able to take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.